Everyone here is in the monsters class. The class is a popular culture class, and we focus on the monsters. We've been looking at your film in our classroom and are super excited to ask you some questions about that. And also about your career, which we are super fans of, the longevity of an amazing. We're all hoping that we can establish, that kind of longevity. So, at any rate, all of my monster stuff, with the exception of So Chill, who is actually in honors college. So we have a few people here who are honors college, but most everyone in the room is actually in the monsters class.
What?
Monsters class.
In the monsters class.
In a monster class. Well, see, they beat me. I don't know that I'm not in a monster class.
Well, none of us has a monster film to our credit
I
yet,
see.
so we're going to call that one a draw, maybe. They have some questions they'd like to ask you, but we would love to just hear anything you want to tell us. We're just super grateful that you're here and eager to hear from you. So.
Okay, fine. Ask the questions.
Do you think that if the monster was computer generated, and do you think it would have affected your acting ability instead of having the monster there in front of you, being able to actually interact with it?
Being able to interact with a live person in a costume versus someone saying, "Oh, that dot right there is going to be the monster" or something. Yeah.
Oh, no, I wanted to have a real monster there, or whatever would represent the monster.
Because with a Gentleman Speaking of, I guess if you're doing Teenage Mutant Turtles or whatever, you're looking at basically that's your eye line. And it's a red dot or something like that. Or there's the Hulk and he's that tall. And then, or not famous as Roger Rabbit here with Jessica or whatever her name was. And
Yeah.
you're just acting with a cartoon. But you liked, it was part of the thing, seeing it for real, right? And interacting with it.
Yeah, the point is that when you're an actor or an actress, when you go in and you're working, you learn to accept whatever they give you as the character, so, otherwise you're acting to empty air.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and it was fun in many ways, fun once we got going.
What was the last scary movie you saw?
What?
What's the last scary movie you saw?
What's the last horror movie you've seen? Do you watch any scary movies? I don't know if you do.
I don't think I do. I think I've had enough of that.
But as a kid, you liked Frankenstein, right? Did you like the Frankenstein?
Yeah. As a kid, I was fun. I had fun being scared. It was fun, and then because you knew it was not real.
Did you used to peek between the seats, or how'd you watch Frankenstein? Did you watch Frankenstein like this?
Yeah, sometimes I would get down behind the seat and look through the crack between the seats.
Wow.
Did you like the way that this film turned out, The Creature? Did you like the movie?
Yeah, I did once I really did. So I was certainly not ashamed of it because it was a pretty good movie.
After the movie came out and you watched it yourself, would you have any critiques for yourself?
Oh, I could direct myself all over the place. Hey, we should have done this or the other.
Yeah.
I'm ready to direct myself.
It's a good answer.
What was the favorite movie? What was your favorite movie that you've acted in?
My favorite movie?
That you've acted in?
It's hard to say.
Is it Bend of the River? Did you like that one?
Yeah, I love Bend of the River. Bend of the River was a very good one. But
You like the stage work though a lot. Did you like Long Day's Journey to Night? Was that another? Yeah, a lot of the roles were on stage, so they're not known by the public, other than the people that saw them, a few hundred people or 1,000 people.
yeah, A Long Day's Journey into Night. It's a wonderful movie, a wonderful film. Did you ever see it?
Is it a film? Is there a film version? You were in the play.
There is a film version.
Is there a film version? Yeah, you were in the
I
play.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, but it's a dark dark.
Bleak.
Very
Eugene
bleak.
O'Neill.
Oh.
It's bleak.
Yeah, it's
Well,
very,
that seems right up my alley then.
Yeah.
I don't know, Wesley, I'll give you my copy to try.
Oh, really? You'll lend it to me?
Sure.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely.
no,
Did
she
you
read all of
bring it back
Eugene
in-
O'Neill's plays, I think, when she was a kid.
Oh wow.
And because her parents were drinkers, so Eugene O'Neill had a pretty troubled family too. So you related to the characters in his play a little bit, didn't you?
I did, yep.
Because it was a dark family kind of thing. So she ended up playing the lead, the matriarch, and Mary Tyrone was a character in Long Day Journey Night. Tyrone family is kind of a tragic,
And she
Tennessee
was
Williams like that.
a troubled character.
Yeah. Isn't she a morphine addict or something? In the play, is she a
Oh,
morphine?
yeah, oh, yeah.
So,
Oh,
Since you've been acting for so long, would you say that there were any roles that you played that changed your personality? Like, were there any roles that you've played and you thought, I would like to be more like this character, so you made a personal, personality change? Or you made a life choice to be... Oh, that's a hard question.
well, I guess
You know what
what I always tried to do was take myself into what the character, what the character was. I tried to be that character.
Yeah,
you saying, did she see a movie that changed her, or
yeah,
herself?
yeah. If a role that she played changed her.
Oh,
like,
did you ever
changed her.
play a role that made you see yourself differently?
Yeah, that's what.
That's interesting. Let's see. It's hard for me to remember exactly.
Did you learn something about yourself playing a role? Probably in that Long Day's Journey to Night, that was a pretty emotional experience.
Yes, it was. It was. Long Day's Journey was a big
It was a long day's
experience.
journey.
Yeah.
Long Day's Journey was a long day's journey.
But yeah, a lot of the characters were, especially in the early days, were kind of like the girl next door. So she was, Katie Holmes comes to mind as Joey Potter, if I remember like Dawson said. Some of the, but then later on she emerged into other roles that were in the westerns where she played darker characters. But that's a good question. No one's ever, I've never thought about that. The question was, did a character ever change your life that you played? Like you went, when you did Go Ask Alice, that was a telefilm where she played the mother of an addicted teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of was an eye opener, right? Where you learned about teen addiction.
Yeah, I learned something in that.
It was kind of
I learned
almost an
something
after
from
school
almost
special, but
everything I
like one of those. Maybe it wasn't an after school special, but it was. Mackenzie Phillips was in it. It was one of the first films I ever heard of Mackenzie Phillips. But it was like about a runaway and kind of a kid drifts into drug addiction. She played the mother, and the parents don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was based on like a best-selling book, right? Maybe some people have read it. But and I think the book is really it's supposedly a true story, but it's really I think someone made it up. But she played the mother in it, and she does the voiceover because the kid in the movie dies at the end from drug addiction. So you kind of was an eye opener about that, wasn't it? About teenagers and drugs. Go Ask Alice.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Go Ask Alice. Yeah, you bet.
Very dark one.
Well, I've always wondered about what happened on the set in Creature, and just how the interactions were when you were actually shooting that. Is there a day that you can remember that sticks out as a particularly good day or a particularly bad day based on an interaction on the set during the Creature?
Well, I don't know.
Well, there's two. What was Good Morning Beastie, right? Wasn't that a cute one?
Oh, yeah. We're on the set, yeah. Say, good morning, Beastie. You know?
So when you were asking about what's her reaction to Ben Chapman, she would go up to Ben and tap,
Morning, Beastie.
tap on his rubber cheek. And then the most famous bad story, right, was when you conked your head in the cave, right, and they knocked you out.
Oh.
Yeah. Near the end of the movie, there's sort of a legendary story now where pretending to be unconscious, right? And
That's
they-
right,
they-
Ben is carrying me, Ben is carrying me in the cave. And so there was a,
They forgot to heat the tank, right? The tank hadn't been heated, so you're in
wasn't
50-degree water,
Wasn't heated up, no.
and he couldn't see out of his goggles, and they
So-
had to shoot it. If you ever watches the end of the movie, if you guys go to the movie, it's right when like the last 10 minutes where she's in his lair, underwater lair, and he lifts her up out of this tank, and there's sort of smoke and mist everywhere, and he's sort of carrying her through the cave, and
And he bumps my head, there's a cave with, these-
I think it was paper mache, but it was sharp.
You're right,
And
right.
she scraped her head. There's a picture in the book of like the nurse came in, and there's a great picture of Ben in the
Bumped
suit
my
looking
head
over
and
to
I
see if she's
jumped,
okay.
but.
Cut. And it became a huge publicity stunt. because they were like-
Big deal of it.
Called the nurse in, actress hurt on the set. It wasn't like today we don't worry about getting sued. It was like, here's how we can get publicity for our movie. Someone hit their head.
Oh, God.
So,
That actually reminds me of a scene in Star Wars of the stormtroopers whenever Darth Vader was going in to get Princess Leia. If you look in the background, there's a stormtrooper who hits his head on the door and he goes like that.
and then they left it in, huh?
Yeah, they left it in, and like nobody noticed it until like 10 years later. And now, whenever they did the remastered versions, there's a little like doing. they play along with it. Like it's
God,
hilarious.
really?
Yes,
I
yeah,
never saw the remastered version.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's funny.
Oh,
You know,
It just kind of reminded me of that.
Considering the way those helmets are, it must be really difficult to see out of them. It makes sense that the stormtroopers died in droves.
And that's probably something that happened with, the creature. Like, I'm sure it was pretty hard to see out of that. Like you said, his goggles were fogging up. So, that might have, it was probably hard to see.
yeah, the creature was carrying me in.
If the goggles were almost impossible. I think they were a
Yeah.
separate piece on the mask. If you look at some of the underwater stuff,
What
it
did
almost looks like his eyes are hollow.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a different mask, slightly.
After you bumped the head, what did you say to the creature?
After you bumped your head, what'd you say to Ben? Did you say anything? Did you say, watch out?
Probably said, ouch.
But yeah, I think the first thing that everyone said, she jumped, and then everyone said, cut. And then everyone rushed in, and
Oh, yeah, then they had to send me over to the nurse
Oh.
and things, and, that made a big thing of it.
Oh, man.
Are you still interested in acting? And if they offered you a part in a remake, are you still interested in acting?
if they offer you a part in the remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon, would you take it? It's probably not. You're not going to be Kay Lawrence. You'll probably be like warning people to stay out of dark water.
Yeah, I think that would be my role then.
We see her as the old woman in the lodge, or the old woman in the lodge, and says, "I've seen some things in that."
Well, you are in the audience,
I know
never come
myself, I
near
would go
this.
Yeah.
Here.
And everyone just says, "Oh, that she's crazy."
And then you just break the fourth
I
wall.
swam in
right
there, and
down,
someone
just
grabbed my
really-
foot, and I got taken to a cave. And hit my head. They'd be like, "Oh, she's just the crazy lady that lives in that shack," and she tells nobody's ever seen the creature. So that would be a cute
Ooh, she could
cameo.
be the really cool, wise witch doctor type person
Right.
that knows what's going on but no one listens to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That would be
I think
great.
I'll take that on.
Wow, that would be great.
Well, you all have been just amazing, and we must be wearing you out by now. But we have loved having you. Do you guys have one last question, maybe? Can we have one last question?
Sure.
You guys
Why
have
not?
one more thing
We've
you
come
want
this far.
I really appreciate it. You've been
How did you
amazing.
go from Little Rock to Hollywood? Who's somebody recruited her?
How did you get from Little Rock to Hollywood?
I think by bus.
No, the story goes. You actually took a plane. You took a plane at one point. You got a plane ticket from Ann
Yeah, I
Ethel.
did, I had, yes.
She had help. But essentially, you became Miss Little Rock, right? You were voted Miss Little Rock.
Yep.
And then you thought, well, maybe I'll try and go at the movies, because she didn't want to be a beauty queen. You know, because she didn't make Miss Arkansas. I think she came in third for Miss Arkansas. It was Becky McCall that won Miss Arkansas.
Oh, yeah, much prettier than me. Much.
But anyway, she, her aunt, she had a couple of aunts. Aunt Ethel gave her a plane ticket to Hollywood. And then Aunt Ruth gave her a job at the bathing suit shop as a bathing suit model. And she had connections to Talent Scouts, right?
Yeah, I did.
And then you got an acting coach, right, in Hollywood?
Florence Enright.
Florence Enright, right? So then she got, it was like kind of one, sort of like the hero's journey. You got a little help from different sort of, you know, muses or sages along the way. And sort of one thing led to another. And then,
Well, Florence Enright got rid of my southern accent.
Oh, wow. Was that difficult? Was it hard to get rid of it?
Yes, it was kind of. Because I always kind of liked it, really, myself. And they say something about, yeah, I think I would be out, then be out for a role. They said, well, you'll have to lose your southern accent. And I'd say, what accent?
That's fun.
Oh, dear.
but then it sort of went full circle because your first big part, you played a senator.
Was a southern.
So they said in a movie called Bright Victory,
That's
I think was it Mark Robeson was the director?
Robeson.
And they said the first thing we have to know is, can you do a southern
Yeah,
accent?
can you do a southern
After she
accent?
spent 6 months trying to lose
And I
it.
said, I think I can.